Divyanshu is an international student in Canada. So how is Canada treating you so far?
Education here is very easy and also very practical. Very different from anything I had any experience with in India. Cooking is very important here. Daily traveling is expensive.
How easy is it to find a part-time job?
Depends. Everything.
With the long breaths that you took in. Welcome Divyanshu. Welcome to the channel.
Hi, nice to be here.
Yes, and for all those who don't know you, we are real brothers, and Divyanshu is almost about 8 years younger to me, and finally in Canada. So welcome. So how is Canada treating you so far?
It's been nice being here, and I have a lot to say. So,
well, that's why you are here.
Yep.
And for all those who don't know, Divyanshu is an international student in Canada. And I think you landed in September intake, right? September 2022?
Yep.
Okay. So just a quick intro, like where are you in terms of the city, college and everything? Just tell everybody about yourself.
So I got into Sheridan College for the digital product design program. And I'm staying in the college, the residence itself. And I'm living in the Oakville campus. And it's only been a couple of months, about 2 months since I've been here, and it's been nice.
It's been nice. So how is Canada treating you so far?
So I have very mixed emotions with how Canada has been treating me so far, but it's overall been nice. Just that you have a lot to adjust to.
Well, I sound a hint in the nice part. You know, the I was actually not.
No, there's a lot of adjusting to. When you're coming from India, there's like, those are like very different worlds, Canada and India. So depends on how well you're able to adjust. So
okay. So basic questions first. How is the education in Canada?
That part is definitely one of the nicer ones. That education here, one, is very easy.
Okay.
Definitely very easy. And two, it's very, very thorough and also very practical. Okay. Like very different from anything I had any experience with in India. But that part has been very nice for me, at least.
Okay. So when you say easy, you're referring it in comparison to our education system in India, right?
Definitely. Like I'm able to manage a side job with that education, and that alone is a very huge thing. Like even with that, I am still finding some time on the weekends for myself. And that just speaks to how much the work pressures and everything are way lesser compared to how it is in India. I do have some friends in my college that have more hectic courses. And game design and everything. Those courses do not leave any time for you to have any personal time, let alone work. But it's definitely depends on the course that you pick. The harder and the more rigorous your course is.
So how are the teachers like?
And the teachers are the best part. Like talking to them, they're all overqualified for anything that you're studying, and they're very nice to you. Inclusivity is a very huge thing I've realized in Canada. They're very sensitive to people being from different countries, and there's like a very varied crowd in the college also. So everybody is very inclusive and very nice. And in general also, I've realized in Canada, people are super polite. So that part is good.
And how is the curriculum of the school like?
Curriculum is something that I think could do with some more work, but also my program is very abstract that way, design. So
you're doing design management, right?
Digital product design.
Digital product design. Okay. And so you said that the teachers are overqualified, and the curriculum can.
In my case, at least.
In your case, okay.
It can depend a lot depending on which college you're in, what kind of, like Sheridan is known for the design and animation part. So
your campus specifically, I think, right?
All three campuses have different focuses. The Oakville campus is design and animation and everything. The Hazel McCallion, the Mississauga one, is mostly for finance and everything. And the Brampton one is a different focus altogether. That's management and stuff.
Okay. And how is the campus like? I mean, like, well, you've been in one of the premier institutes in India for your bachelor's, and you must have visited a couple of, like Delhi University and everything on fests and everything. And then on the other hand, I've seen your campus, and it's a huge campus, right? So, just how's the campus like? Like overall, what facilities and everything? How is it different?
See, the level of comforts that we have in our campus here are unmatched from anything I've ever seen before. Okay. It's like you're living in a city. We have multiple restaurants, we have food places and everything in our college, and that part cannot be matched. We are allowed to stay in our campus till 2 a.m. Okay. And we can use any service. We have iMac Pros set up in our classrooms for us to use till 2 o'clock at night.
Okay.
We can log into them. We're getting so many free softwares. We're getting full Adobe Cloud subscriptions and everything. So it's very thorough with everything they're giving us, and that level cannot be matched anywhere, at least I have seen in India. But it's also something that I don't know if it's so necessary, but it's definitely a great place to be in once you have all the facilities and once you avail all the facilities. Like a lot of people in my program aren't even coming to college.
Okay.
And me living in the college, I'm making the most of it. I'm using their computers, I'm using their softwares, I'm using everything. I'm in the classrooms till 2 a.m. at night. I'm using everything to the fullest.
Okay.
But for people who are not going to be coming to the college, maybe a few of my friends are coming to only one class a week. That is of no use for them, at least.
So, how are the schedules laid out in the classrooms? So, do you go to college every day? Are you allowed to take off, like attendance? And as per the schedule, is it like too stressful? Is it too congested? So, how is it like?
So that definitely depends on your program coordinator.
Okay.
They're free to pick anything and everything they want.
Okay.
And our program coordinator felt like the course did not need to be as hectic because it's a postgraduate diploma course. Everybody is in the field who knows it. And also, there's nothing as such so difficult in my program also. So it's relatively lighter. And I'm going to college 2 days a week. 2 days it's of work from home.
Okay.
Online classes.
Okay. Study from home.
Study from home. And Tuesdays I have off.
Okay.
There's also another schedule that I could have picked. Like I was assigned automatically, but I could have asked to get it changed. But they're working on 2 schedules.
Okay.
The other schedule has Fridays off. And for now, all of Canada, most of what I know is on hybrid schedules.
Okay.
So a couple of days a week going to college, couple of days a week staying
on
at
campus.
home.
Okay.
And other programs like game design, theater and everything, the going to college at 9 a.m. in the morning, coming back home at 9 p.m. So those courses can be very rigorous and very intensive.
Okay. So it depends upon the kind of course you're taking, right?
Definitely.
So did you have this clarity before you joined the course?
So I could have, but I didn't check my timetables and everything. But that's only very close to when you're when you're coming here. It's only like a week before that you can actually find out what your course will be like. You can get a hint of it, but you won't have enough information for you to realize.
So I think that's possible for people who have already taken admission and gotten the visas. But I'm thinking from a perspective that, okay, somebody wants to take up a course in a college, but has no idea how the course is like, how the load is like. So is there a way to connect with the alumni before actually applying for an offer letter? Is there a way to connect and understand what's going on in the school?
So there definitely is a way, and I did connect with my seniors at college here. I did send them an email and did connect with a couple of them. But it's just that you have to ask the right questions for them to answer. Like,
to whom should we ask this question?
To the alumni, like the ones who were in the program at the time when
how did you connect with them?
I just found their the college has this portfolio website. I saw their portfolios on that website and send them an email. And there was like a couple of stuff that you can do. You can research online. You can find currently working graduates and everything.
So you had to do your bit of research and get into it.
That's exactly what I was getting to. So you have to do your research. You need to ask the right questions. So my questions were mostly regarding the jobs that would be available after college. So I had that clarity already, but not about my courses, programs, schedules. I didn't ask how much time would be put into the college.
But there's a way of connecting through LinkedIn or emails or everything.
Yep.
Okay. And do you guys have exams also?
Everybody else does. The art and animation people and the more creative courses work on submissions, not exams. Okay. So we have like a submission week where if anybody here, I'm an architect from India. So it's very similar to how we had it in India. We had a submission week where we used to do submissions for all the projects that we were currently working on at that moment.
Okay.
And it's like a whole week where you have all your submissions and you have to do your projects and submit all of them.
Okay.
So it's sort of like assignments, but it's creative stuff. So you have to work on them a little differently, the projects, and you have to submit them.
Okay.
But yeah.
$1 million question. How important is it to attend the class? Like, how important is attendance to them?
See, totally depends on your professors and on your program. I think there's an immigration legal requirement and all.
About 80%, I think.
80%. So that part is there.
But then for that, I mean, immigration doesn't get into that. It's more like if the college says that yes, you have attended, it's more on the college.
So exactly, one of my teachers is very strict about it. If I'm missing his class, he will definitely give me a hard time for it. One of my teachers, if I don't go to college for the whole next 8 months, he wouldn't care. So totally depends on which situation you're in and how you're making it work. But more or less, you're better off going to college. Like, you're paying so much for these colleges anyway.
Of course.
We as foreigners pay at least 10, 15, 20 times of what people here are paying for the same college. You might as well use those resources. You might as well learn.
Correct. No, it's definitely worth it, and you should definitely attend colleges. And in no way or means or methods are we trying to say that college is not there. But still, I mean, like, are they too hard pressed? Is it like, because I've heard for other colleges also, they do accept, students taking off every now and then, but then there has to be a certain level. I think about 75 or 80% of attendance has to be maintained, and students need to follow that. Anyways, so coming over to a very important part, which is the settlement phase for a student, because we all know that, like, you are 25, right? So you've been you've been at home all your life, and you were staying with parents, and life was much like in a cocoon where you had everything present for yourself. So coming from that kind of a background to living in a hostel, first, how did you find the accommodation?
Out of the world. See, in my scenario at least, Oakville is very expensive. Yeah. Very expensive. And I was looking for apartments there, and a single bedroom was costing me $900. Like, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos. I've seen a lot of YouTubers talking about student accommodations, and they're like $400, $300, $500. But realistically, I see $900, $950, $800, and that too with 8 months leasing, 7 months leasing. Can't even see the apartment beforehand. And that part was very scary for me. I was like, I'd rather pay $200 extra for the convenience of living in the dorm and I am very bad at time management. I needed that extra time of taking my travel off, where I could walk to my class from inside the college and avoid the snow, since it was my first year coming here.
Yeah.
And it's also a transition period, right? I needed that transition period for me to adapt to the country easily. And some of my friends are paying as much as I am.
So I think a couple of people who are living in Oakville, closer to your campus. Yep. How much are they paying per month?
Maximum they're saving is $200.
Okay. And how much are you paying for your hostel per month?
And that $200 would be an exception. Like, 1 out of every 10 person would be saving that money.
Okay.
The others will be more or less paying the same amount I am. But in other cities, say you live in Mississauga, it's much better to live outside because the college dorm will cost you a lot more.
Okay.
But in my city, at least, the difference wasn't as much.
Okay. And how much are you paying on a monthly basis?
$1,050.
$1,050. I think last you told me that a couple of your friends were paying literally almost a similar amount, but they were burning more on utilities extra, and then
a friend of mine pays $950, has police over in his house every second day.
Why?
The other tenants are fighting every day. The landlord doesn't let them park. She charged them for parking, but doesn't let them park their cars in the driveway. There's no space in the driveway.
Okay.
Another couple of my friends, 4-5 of them, living together, paying $950,000 a month.
And then you burn extra money for travel to college, travel back home. Then obviously on the way
they're
cold.
also within walking distance, so that part is skipped.
But walking in minus
Exactly.
15, minus 20 is very tough.
Yep.
So, even if it's a 500 meter walk or a 200 meter walk, oh my God, it seems like, it's a whole pilgrimage altogether to go to college every day.
And you could definitely save more money. And I'm in no way saying that you spend extra to live in the college. It's just that you have to make those decisions for yourself and think where all you can compromise. I'm compromising in other ways that I know that my living budget is higher. And I'm compromising in other ways, like I would have spent a lot more if I were staying somewhere else, saving money there. So it's just that you have to balance some stuff out.
Correct.
And see what works for you. Definitely.
So I know when we were looking out for a hostel for you, there were certain deadlines to meet, and beyond those deadlines, the hostels were not available, right? You had to apply for it, pay some non-refundable deposit for it. So for all those who could not get a hostel, how do you think they got their accommodations? Because I've heard it's very tough to find accommodation in cities, right? So what were the means and methods they used to find the place?
So for some, it was not doing their research and coming in, just finalizing anything and everything they got. It's all luck. If your luck turns out well, you find a good place. If your luck is not good, you end up in my friend's situation who's paying $950 a month and has police over every second day. I'm not even making this up. Every second day.
Very tough. So I think the key takeaway is for you to do the research. I think you connected with your alumni also for accommodations.
Not
and
for the accommodation.
Okay, and a couple of your friends, I think they pulled up to take a whole house on rent, and then they're sharing the rooms, right?
Yeah.
So you could do that as well. Then Facebook Marketplace, and then...
So if you have a couple of people grouped together, that is the ideal situation.
Okay.
You can afford a more expensive house also, so you can split everything.
Mm.
So that situation is definitely ideal. And even if you don't have that research done before, even when you come here, you're in a situation where 4-5 people can split all the expenses and find a good place.
So if you think somebody lands with a month, or maybe if not say a month, a 15-day stay at a Airbnb, or maybe a 7-day stay at an Airbnb, do you think that's enough a time to find accommodation and move?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it's like a very unlucky situation. Very unlucky, but more or less you'll be good.
Okay. And what are your monthly expenses like? Now, we all know that most of the students come with the $10,000 GIC and couple of $100 in savings, right? Apart from the fees. So, looking at your monthly expenses and rent and everything, do you think that GIC is enough, and what are your monthly expenses like? Like broadly, if you were to classify for any student, what would be the biggest buckets be?
So what I've realized is that cooking is very important here.
Okay.
If you can cook, you can bring down those costs a lot.
Okay.
Lunch boxes, tiffin services, frozen food, which is readily available. You can survive off of frozen foods here without an issue.
Okay.
But that's very expensive frozen food will cost you $7 to $8 a meal. Ordering stuff, lunches, tiffins, and getting food deliveries and everything will cost you $10 to $15 a meal. Cooking yourself, $3 to $4 a meal. So I save there a lot. A couple of my friends that don't know how to cook are definitely feeling the effects of not knowing that, and it's definitely in monetary expenses definitely a lot harder. But depending on the person's ability to save, cook, and all of that stuff, your budgets will vary a lot. My initial month expenses were a lot. I spent $2,000 in my first month, and I spent around $1,500 in my second month. But after that, $300 the next month. So once you're settled in,
and that's apart from your dorm expenses, right? Like your hostel expenses.
Yeah, that's apart from
because you've already paid for your hostels upfront, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so roughly about say $300 or $400 per month is what you can survive on, provided you're cooking and you're not traveling.
Yeah,
because you're not traveling, right? So you're on the campus.
Somewhat like when I'm going to places, then I'm traveling.
But as a daily routine, like if you don't have to travel,
I don't travel daily.
Right?
Daily traveling is expensive. $4 a side, public transport.
So if you're going to and fro from your accommodation to college,
$8.
If you're lucky, for a one-side bus, you'll get $8, like a single bus. So coming like to and fro would be $8. Right?
Going and coming back from college, $8 a day.
And then if you have work outside to part-time work, then God bless you with another $8, right?
Yeah, you need to find a job which is near your place, or else you're just burning money, like an hour of work's money every day.
Okay. Now, the most important part, and I believe everybody is waiting to hear jobs. Like, how easy is it to find a part-time job?
Depends. Everything
with the long breaths that you took in.
So depends on the kind of work you're looking for. Like restaurant jobs, these odd jobs, these clerical jobs, all these readily available. You won't need to wait more than a week for these.
Okay.
I got my job before I reached Canada. Yeah. It was in my college as a barista in the coffee shop that my college has. So I got that job while I was...
In fact, we landed.
Yeah.
We straight away went to the interview, and within the first 2 or 3 hours of you landing, you had the job. So yeah, and
so if you work on it, another week I worked on a second job, got an interview within the same week, and I unfortunately had to reject that job because it was very far from my place. It was very, very, very good job. So things like that, if you're willing to do clerical work, definitely you can find a job within a week. Okay. None of my friends who've been open to doing all of this work, either food or just reception stuff and stuff like that, none of them have been like, they found the jobs easily.
And how did they find the job?
Just finding through your college portals. College portals are godsend. They have, every college here more or less has a career portal where you can look for jobs, and you have LinkedIn, and you can also drop your resumes to every place you go to. Okay. Everywhere you go, there's hiring now. That's literally everywhere, and you can get a job easily. Now, depending on the quality of job, if you want a sales job, that is definitely harder to get. And if you want to do more specialized stuff, for example, for me, I'm a designer. Finding a design job would be very hard. Couple of my friends who've been waiting to only work a design job aren't working at all. So that is definitely there. Like there's always...
You're working on campus, right?
Yeah.
And how did you get this one?
So I found through my college's work portal.
Okay.
And I'm working with the student union. So,
and you had access to that before you even landed in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So good. I mean, so I think the underlying suggestion here is that try to utilize the the resources that a college gives you
they
before
have
you
given
land?
unlimited resources for everything. We have $7,000 computers set up for us to use every day.
Okay.
You'd be hard pressed to be in a situation where you don't have anything that you need for that. Like you have job portals, you have.
So you just have to ask for it, right? Like go to the student
Not even
union
ask,
or
just you have
access the resources properly,
Yeah.
like the internet or their websites. Log into the student section, the student portal. I think they have bursaries to access. They do have certain people who need some help, monetary help.
Yep.
You have food banks also. A lot of students in Canada are using food banks as well. So I think the only suggestion that people can make is that do good research, look at your portals, and try to identify if you can find those. Right. So every college will have that. So which is good. And so in terms of money, while we're on the topic of money, what are the crisp money saving hacks that one can do once a person comes to Canada as a student?
So the biggest money saving hack that I realized: learn to cook.
Okay.
You'll save a lot of money. I'm saving $300 a month compared to people who are not cooking.
Okay.
That is definitely. And see, there will be times when you're unable to cook. You'll be busy all day. You have a job to work on. You have you have projects. You have college classes and everything. But also, when you get a job, you'll get food there also. If you're working a food job, obviously. So pick jobs that give you the most benefits. Use your college's resources to the maximum to save money. I'm living in the hostel. I don't have to worry about my electricity bill, my water bill, stuff like that. I'm saving money. I can turn anything on for all night. I don't have to worry about that. I can use my college's theater to watch movies instead of going out to actually watch movies.
You have game rooms, laundry
Everything.
rooms and everything.
Yeah. We can book everything. We have meeting rooms in our college that we can book and just sit there. And the other day, me and my friend just went there and saw a movie there. You could spend $20 and go watch that movie in a theater.
So sort of
Use the resources you have. You have, because you have a lot.
Any student offers in Canada?
Definitely. So these websites and apps, Student Beans, SPC, and a couple more. Use all of these. There's 15-20% off. I used it today. So there's bunch of discounts everywhere. You go to Puma, you have discount. You go to any brand you go to, you have at least 15% off. And
so try to utilize those resources to get. And I think you got off on those travel passes as well, right?
Oh, so everyday traveling in buses, Go buses, they're called here. Those have discounts. But the Oakville City Transit, we don't get any discount.
Okay.
But some discounts here and there.
Okay. When you were coming here, again, while we are on the money topic, when we were coming here, you found out a flight that was cheaper. So, but I think you ended up paying extra money because you took a direct flight. So, if somebody has to find a job, find a flight, or maybe what to pack and all of that, what do you have a recommendation on that?
See, for packing, I have the best tip for you.
Okay.
Best Buy, Walmart, Amazon. 3 of the places you'll go to the most.
Okay.
Everything you buy here, most of the stuff, 90% of your stuff you're buying from these 3 places. All of these places have online websites. You see everything that you can buy in India, and you go to these 3 websites and see what is available here and what price it is. You can compare price for everything. Why do you even need to bring bed sheets, bring masala and stuff like that?
Spices and everything you don't need, right?
You can get everything here. And if you're ever in doubt, just check it. All the websites are open. You can just look for all that stuff, see, compare the prices. I'd say all the smaller things are more expensive here. So think of smaller things around your house that you need. Chargers, plugs, and small lights, bulbs and stuff like that. So it's just the little things.
Yeah, so tech heads like you can get the bulbs and the tubes, the smart bulbs and the smart tubes.
See,
but not everybody is a tech
the
head.
bigger stuff is more or less the same, if not cheaper here actually. You can get a phone here for cheaper, you can get a laptop here for cheaper. But it's the small stuff that costs a lot over here. So the smaller stuff is a lot more expensive here. I had to get a router from India because it was costing 7,000-8,000 rupees, whereas it was 1,000 rupees in India. So think of smaller stuff around you and just compare the prices for everything.
And how about the life in Canada broadly? Like, do you think it is safe and, going out at night from a girl's perspective, like from female's perspective, is it safe? And a lot of parents ask me often that, Sahil, do you have any racism there? Do you think as a student, do you face any issues, or is there anything like that?
So for the racism part, I was expecting some racism at least, because it's natural that you're going to a different country, you'd expect some racism.
Okay.
But I was like very surprised that the opposite was happening. I felt like they're giving me very special treatment to actually not be racist. People here are very extra cautious and sensitive to these things, that they don't want to offend anybody and stuff like that. So that part I haven't felt ever.
Okay.
Racism part, I didn't feel anything. And apart from this, the security and everything, the safety, I haven't seen any safety concern ever. But when you go to downtown, you do see people on the sides of streets who are maybe drunk or passed out.
But they don't disturb you.
Yeah, so it's never that they would ever engage with you. And
unless you start engaging with them on some certain level.
And I feel it's like 10 to 20 times safer than where I was in India, Delhi. So
world famous Delhi for rape crimes and everything.
So it's definitely a better place to be in.
So yeah, I mean, like, my feedback is also somewhat similar, that unless you intentionally get into...
If you're looking for trouble, you can find trouble anywhere.
Correct. So unless you're looking for it, you'll be relatively safer. And in terms of racism, unless you have a very bad day, like, those elements are always there, but it's not... I mean, it's extremely rare to see. It's not very common.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think life, I mean, broadly, how would you classify, like, having yourself pictured everything in front of you right now in this discussion? How do you think your life is in Canada? Because you've been a student in India and you have been a student in Canada. Compare the two lives for me.
So my hesitation in the start of this video, I'll come to that. I feel if you're not living in downtown, which you most probably are not, because downtown is very expensive and there are only a couple of handful colleges in downtown, and most probably all the people coming to Canada for studying will be in somewhat other, like, countryside cities, or maybe cities closer to downtowns but not the downtown part.
Okay.
So this country is developed around cars. So any and every road in neighborhoods and smaller roads also feel like highways. So as a person who's walking everywhere,
and a person who's coming from Chandni Chowk streets of Delhi.
Yeah. So anywhere you go, everywhere you go, everything is very far. The closest grocery stores here are half an hour away from your place. You will have other grocery stores that are closer to your place,
but they'll be very expensive to maintain.
There's no concept of MRP. So they can charge you anything. The smaller the store, the more they'll charge.
MSRP. So we have concept of MSRP. It says maximum suggested retail price, but it's a suggested retail price.
Yeah.
So like a bottle of water, like this bottle of water will cost you, like this can, like this crate. So 32 bottles, I think, are for $3 at Costco. But similar, just 16 bottles can cost you $4 at a grocery store.
Yeah, I was buying Cheetos one day. $2 at Walmart, $6 at another store. So that part will make you walk to Walmart every week, and you
which is pretty far away.
Yeah, very far. It's like half an hour from my place by walking. By walk. So all of this, it's very inconvenient because it's not for people, it's for cars. And food deliveries are super expensive. They cost as much as the food itself. Okay. And Amazon returns, you have to go drop your returns. And stuff like that, little things annoy you. Inconveniences. This is all very inconvenient. Like, these services here aren't as good.
So, back to the same question. As a student, as a 20-year-old, 21, 22-year-old in India, when we are mostly brought up on our parents' money and we have those luxuries of life, or probably if not that, then we have Zomatos and everything of life to, sail through. Then we have Delhi metros and all. Compare that to where you are in Oakville. Do you think it's worth the effort?
I feel that's also very personal. Again, that for some people, it will be definitely worth it. For me, in my field, I wasn't finding a job that I liked. It's a creative field, and there are few careers and fields here that I think are definitely a lot more beneficial if you come over here and pursue them. Some fields, managing, finance, everything, have a very high reputation in India. There's no reason I can think of, at least, you'd want to leave all of that and come here. You're leaving a luxury life behind for a life of working all day and getting into a lot of inconveniences. And for stuff like, maybe you're into skilled trades, and maybe you can build stuff, you can make furniture, you can create custom skateboards, you can do all of that. You're into creative things, and you can do plumbing, you can be an electrician. Stuff like that has a lot of value here, more than you can find anywhere in India. Yeah, so if you're in fields where you think, you have to compare the fields over here to what we have in India. Most of the things that have a lot of value there don't have any value here.
Like somebody studying from a top pedigree institute in India would definitely end up scoring a 20 lakh job, vis-a-vis studying from a very, very good college like Sheridan here. What are your prospects like? Like, do you think it's worth it? Like,
not worth it at all. Doing finance in India, you're at the peak level of getting jobs in India. Doing finance here, you're just like anybody else. You have no...
Unless you become a CPA, which is a chartered accountant in India.
So, things in India that are good, that are very well respected, might not have the same respect here. So you have to see what you're coming here for and check. You have to do that research. Like, you can't come in blindly thinking, okay, everything is better there. No, not everything is better here. You have to see what field you're in, what you're trying to get into here, and compare what is better, what is not.
How do you think people should do this comparison? Because if they go on watching YouTube videos, for example, I know not a lot of videos present the reality, but how do you get one-on-one feedback on your exact profession?
Talk to people. Go on LinkedIn, text people. People are more than open to talking about everything. You can find people on LinkedIn. Just drop in a text. You can find people on Instagram. Everybody, real experiences can't be explained in videos, right? For anybody on YouTube covering these things, they're only talking about experiences of other people or maybe their own experiences. But there's no better way than actually talking to people who are here.
Like we have you here.
Yeah, so if anybody is coming to talk to me, I would give them a very real picture of how it is like to be here. And as a designer also, I know how it is and maybe how the industry will be ahead of my graduation. So talk to people. Internet is very vast. You can find every information. You can see everything. And again, just connecting with people, you'll find a lot.
That's the best thing to do.
Yep.
Perfect. I think you've given us a lot of insights into, how is it like being a student here. And from your perspective, I think you're sort of enjoying it. And at the same time, you're saying that, okay, people must have their own perspectives and develop an opinion and do a bit of a research before coming.
My takeaway would definitely be research everything before you come here. You can't do enough research. So, because
and research on every topic like jobs, home, buying stuff, packing up, everything, like comparables are very important.
Yeah, and compare everything so you know what you're getting into. So when you come here, you're not surprised, okay, where have I come, what happened to...
Yeah, because life as a student can be very...
life as anybody, unless you have your research done and you know what to expect.
Yeah. The reason why I said student is because you don't have the liberty of working as much as you want. Right? So that becomes, a pressure point. Like, say for example, somebody comes as a PR, okay? Or maybe somebody comes on an open work permit. Then the person is like a kulla sand. The person can do anything under the sun, right? So if the person wants to earn more money, he can work more hours or maybe can switch a job just like that. But once you are coming on a closed work permit or maybe on a student visa, then your hands are tied. You're either bound by the 20 hours a week, but in your case, like you're working on campus. But for everybody else who does not get an on-campus job, I think 20 hours a week is a capping. And then closed work permit guys, they have a capping on the number of jobs they can do. So for them, they need to assess properly and see whether it's going to be a good call or not. Yeah. Because life as a student, at least that phase can be demanding, right? So you need to be mentally, physically and financially prepared for it.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I think good feedback and this should be, a good starting point for people if they want to plan for Canada. But for sure, I mean, like, do you think people can reach out to you on LinkedIn or anywhere?
For sure, anywhere. I'm open to helping everybody. Like, I've had all of this done, all the research done. And I think if I can help anybody with this, I'd be glad.
For sure. Chalo, I think it was a great session. Thanks for coming.
Same for me.
Saying hi to everybody. Great. And then we'll have you over once again on the other sessions.
Okay.
Well, perfect. We'll catch up on the other side.
Okay. See you.